Hello everybody, here's a quick introduction to the week 2 assignment 2. It'll be a little bit different than the program from week 1 because instead of creating a console application, you will actually be creating a GUI application, and the choice you will make instead of console application, you will choose Windows Forms application. The scenario for the program is to create a payroll program. You will have on your form places where they can enter in their name, address, hourly pay rate, number of hours worked, and then the user will submit a button, and after they submit that button, results will be displayed. It can be the gross pay, but for sure it needs to be the net pay. Now, all the calculation will be done, however, different than your console application. You don't just have code. You will have to learn how to work with these different objects that are on your form. One thing is when you double click a button on your form, that's when you would enter in the code. However, your code, when specifying the different parts of your form, you have to use object-oriented programming notation. This is what you will do when you go into Visual Studio. You will start it up as normal, make sure it's Visual C Sharp, and then you would choose Windows and Windows Forms application. After you make this selection, you will see a new form on your screen. This is where you then will design the form. You will add things like labels and text boxes and buttons for then your form to be used for the payroll program. The toolbox is where you will get all your controls. The main ones you will be using will be labels, text boxes, and buttons. The property list. Every control has a property list, so when you click on the form, you will see then the property list for the form. There are various things that you can change or set. Right now you can use the default. However, if you wish, you can change Form 1. If you notice at the top of your form, it says Form 1, which is generic. Everything is initially assigned a generic name. It is then you would go into the property list to make changes to then customize it for your program or whatever you wish it to show. So you can change your Form 1, and you would do that by choosing in the property list the text property. And then if you notice at the bottom of the screen, it says text, and it shows a value of Form 1. It is here that you would then type in payroll program, because then it's more customized to your program that you are creating. All the forms have, all the controls will have a property list. It's important then to know which properties you need to change to get the desired look, feel, and outcome that you want. You will, again, as I mentioned, you will use button labels and text boxes. Input. So again, as we think about our programs, you want to go through the input process output statements. So your input prompts will be labels on the form. You would click on the control, put a label on your form, change the text to what you want it to say, like please enter your name. So you will have text boxes then for where you want the user to enter information. The process will be done behind the button. What I mean by that is when you put a button on your form, double click it, you'll get to the code screen. And when you use the code, you need to reference all your controls by name. You will have to change the name of your text boxes, so then when you have your code, you would then write out your code referencing your text boxes by name. This is better than having text box 1, text box 2, or text box 3. And then your output you would place back into a text box. And one thing about working with text boxes is they are by default string. So if you want to calculate with it, you have to convert it to a number. If you want to display it, you have to convert it back to text. Please read your information in your textbook to learn more about the object-oriented programming. Thank you.